Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Leftover Friday edition of Gaarawarr's Guide to Everything Untitled Champions. I'm the current host, Gaarawarr. I feel like if they ever get a new host, they're going to have to change the name. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they could do it. Greetings to everybody in chat. Oh, we already got a bunch of people in here. Yay. Ragnar, Trontonian, Alita, Kisso, Trontonian. Oh, I already said Trontonian. Well, Trontonian counts twice. I guess. Midnight Griff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, Bob hosted, but that was more like a special guest, you know. Oh, hey. This new pop-up. When I originally saw this new pop-up, I thought, hey, maybe I can click it and watch it, like, right here in a little mini player, but, you know, that's probably problematic. It does let you click it, though, but it just opens. It just opens the thing. Shouldn't just say just opens the thing. It's neat that that there are multiple ways to access streams when they start. What's going on, everybody? So we have a wild leftover Friday. I call it leftover Friday. Everybody else calls it Black Friday. I don't know. It's all about those leftovers today. That's what I'm talking about. I got a bunch of ham left over. We got a bunch of rolls and. Like, just chop up the ham, put it in some rolls. Like, I don't even got to heat it up. I'm just going to eat it on that. I'm good. Let's see. So, in-game today, though, we've got a new Pack Tactics weekend. We got some spurt action. Phrasing. Calliope, Jamila, Ishi, and Deacon. This is the one I think, like, all of the veteran players are excited for because it's not only is it 200% to Story of Doom, but it's 200% to Confidence in the Boss. So everything can go real fast this weekend. You know, maybe not as big as the weekend where they had Deacon and Melf going super speedy together, but you know, that broke the game. So yeah, good times. What's the chest look like? Oh yeah, I got one of these already. I'll have to open that here in a bit. And then there's a Black Friday sale going on. And actually, I should talk about the Black Friday stuff on the other account. Yeah, let's go over here. Where I don't own a bunch of it already. So the Champions of Renown, they got the Year 1 All-Star Pack. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think this is a pretty cool pack. Like, if you're a new player, I think that's a solid lineup. You got speed. You eventually someone who will be a big DPS. You got an optional tank if you don't have Krull yet. You got a great support and optional DPS as Caddy Bree. And then Grum is just a great support and can tank if you need her to. And everybody gets 2 shinies. Not just 1, but 2 shinies plus 16 chests. I feel like this is pretty... And this cool Clockwork Evelyn. Construct Evelyn is what they call it. But, yeah. I don't know. I feel like new players, that's a pretty good deal. It's just difficult for me when what I really want is just the skin. So, I don't know. It'll show up in a wild offer for me eventually, I'm sure. All the Force Grey people have their packs on sale. There's even a bundle. Right here. Yeah, you get the Force Grey bundle. These all give specific items. Basically, you get a golden epic and then the blues for all of them. That was like one of the original... This is like the original bundle that they did. So back then, it's like basically you get 5 GEs. And then a bunch of blue stuff. But for $22.50, I don't know. That's pretty cheap. And there's some familiars. So decent Black Friday stuff going on. You get Fluffy and Baby Spurt. There's also the Celeste starter pack. I think the same thing. Yeah, GE with a bunch of stuff. These were like the original starter pack things. $5 though. Just saying. Not horrible. But I bet so much stuff today. Well, I say so much stuff. It's usually because I normally don't spend a lot on Black Friday, but I end up buying Black Friday stuff. What I don't do is go out and do all the shoving at a store. Even in a non-pandemic year, I don't find that an enjoyable way to spend my time at all. There's nothing I really want that bad that I need to go wait, like in some cases overnight, and potentially get like stabbed and punched for stuff. Y'all need RNGesus in your life. Snagged Hades from Steam along with the Year One pack. Yeah, I saw Hades. I was talking about Hades is on there. A lot of people are really talking about that game. So I added it to my wish list. I don't know if I'll buy it. It is a little bit cheaper. It's not a super expensive game from the beginning, which I feel like is one of the reasons it's, getting a lot of play. That, and obviously it's a good game, but it's nice when they're not super, super pricey. Also this weekend we have a natural time gate weekend. I have not checked my time gate. Let's go take a look. Dadius, Sasaspia, and Walnut. I already got a bunch of item levels on Walnut in that Kigurumi skin. Yeah. And then Dadius and Sasaspia are the same item level. So I don't really know. I don't know which of these I'm going to choose. Yeah. Like, I'll choose one and I'll run this stuff for him, and that'll be that. What I wanted to do on stream today, let's complete this, is probably head up. We got Avernus, some new Avernus stuff this week, Avernus Part 8. I did the basic adventures, but I did not... Oh, where are they? God. Oh, it's up here. Okay, so Bell's Forge is all the way up here in the top right. And then it looped all the way down here where you can't really see, beneath the spawning trees, and all the way down here by the Wreck Flying Fortress. Like, they looped all the way around. So I feel like they've kind of trapped themselves. It tells me that, like, maybe either we're finishing here with the next update, or maybe, like, right in here is the final. We've never had a path I don't think we've ever had a path cross another path, so I don't think we're going to go. It's always going around. I don't think we're going to go, like, cross and come up here or something. So unless we just end up like right over here or something, this may be the last place we get. I don't know. Oh yes. So the Archduke's Blessing. We'll dive into some of these, and the area level is like 500, but we'll throw super speed pots on, and everyone in chat will be like, "Why is it going so fast?" But yeah, the Cultist of Zariel arrives in each area to celebrate Zariel. The Cultist has 4 armored hit points and deals 300% additional damage, while the Cultist of Zariel and the screen bosses cannot be damaged. Okay. So, yeah, 4 armored. We're going to want like multi-hit, and ideally we want Esmeralda in on this, but I think we're probably just going to keep Deacon in for the zooms. Let me just say. It's just the bosses that can't be damaged. Okay. So we'll do all the zoomy stuff once I kill off that guy. Boom. And we'll get Havilar with her imps out, and things will go super fast. And then we'll bring in... okay. Well, I guess I have to hit their specializations first, and then we will see. Let's go Metalborn. There. Now let's throw the Zoom potions on and break this thing. It'll crash at least once today, I'm sure. Let's see from chat. Good evening, time gate question. Which champion should I choose? Zorbu, Omen, or Walnut? Oh. I mean, if you don't have any of those, Andy, Zorbu. Even if you can't necessarily use him yet, you want to have him in your bench for when you can. He's currently the biggest, most overpowered DPS in the game. So on the second account, Jim or Krond? I would go Jim. Yeah. Who's the best choice to get for slot 5? Oh, like if you're trying to pick an option? Briv. Briv would be the next best option. He's just the big boy over here. He's a speed champion. You can watch him jumping all over the place. Like every time I beat a level, he's jumping. He's going to be jumping every level, because I've got his speed up to like 99%, I think. Where is it? Yeah, 90.8%. Okay, well, that's enough. He goes super fast, and we got like 1,700 stacks, so he'll be jumping at the end of most levels. I say that, and then he doesn't jump on a couple levels, but whatever. There he goes. Yeah, Briv's probably the best option if you need someone to swap in Calliope's slot. Everyone else is, oh, well, I almost said everybody else is okay. No, they're not. Keelik's good here. Thaddeus is okay. Point and Xander could use a little bumping. What else do we have going on? Oh, there's a new champion coming to the game next week. Boom. Lucius the Nasty, as I like to call him. Elenasto. Just Lucius the Nasty. That's my nickname for him. Hopefully he won't, be nasty. Hopefully he'll be a good champion. We'll see. We did get this champion spotlight for him. We'll go over that here in a bit. I purposefully refrained from looking at it outside of looking at his stat block. I've not looked at any of the abilities. We'll do that live on stream. Take a look at, the way I look at champions when they first come out. A lot of people like to judge them super hard. I basically just want to get an idea of how they're going to play and fit into a formation. But until you see their actual level upgrades and what they're getting, as you level them up, like in terms of how many multipliers do they get on these abilities, you don't really know how they're going to work out. Because they'd have super cool abilities, and if that ability got multiplied by X amount, it'd be super strong, but, you don't know. You don't know if that's going to happen. So, yeah. He's an Arcane Chromat. Remember, this comes from the High Rollers Erois campaign, so they have, their own. It's a homebrew world. They're just kind of bringing it into Idle Champions. He uses colors to fuel his magic. His Acid Splash and Ray of Frost spells cause different debuffs, and any targets that become afflicted with both will explode. Ouch. I'm assuming non-boss targets? It would have to be non-boss targets. Because if you're just blowing up bosses, unless it's just an explosion that causes some damage, I see it as like explodes and they're just instantly dead, but that's probably not how it works. I don't know. Anyway, we'll look at the champion spotlight here in a bit. Drew Bud. Thanks, Gar. Got my last purple for Hitch. Your favorite non-DPS DPS. Yeah. Hitch is up there. Since they fixed Penelope's, whatever Penelope's issue was that was causing her to be an OP DPS. Literally was beating my Zorbu at certain places last week on stream. Yeah. Hitch is the go-to non-DPS DPS. Briv can only jump one level at a time no matter what. No, your opponent. The higher up you level his... What? I died. Oh. See, this is what happens when you go too fast, folks. The enemies jump up on here and get past the party. Because Deacon causes them to move so fast. Like you can see, they're dying back here. If you pay real close attention. I shouldn't have sped this up. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep an eye on it because we're just going to keep backing up. They really got to fix that. Anyway, so Briv jumps. His percent chance of jumping is based off Theodenorax, which is his slot 4 item. So the higher you get this item, and there's no cap to it, the more he jumps. And when you roll over from 99.99% to 100%, it actually drops to a 50% chance of jumping at 2 levels. And then it goes up again, and then when you roll over again, it's 3 levels, and then 4, and then 5, and then it goes on infinitely. But it's such a curve, like as you get further, like the amount of item levels you have to punch in to get there is just insane. People do it. We roll back again. Am I going to have to take Deacon out? I'm going to have to take Deacon out. He's just spawning everybody behind the party, and they're not able to kill him quick enough. Actually, no, I think if I took Melf out, maybe? Yeah, maybe we'll take Melf out. We'll see. We'll see if it stops again. But yeah, I mean, it takes a huge investment in Briv to make him jump multiple levels in terms of item levels. You've got to really just dump everything in. People do it, and then they crazy farm Mad Wizard all the time, and then they dump all those blacksmithing contracts into Briv, and then they jump even more, and then they just keep doing that. It seems like this black hole that I don't want to have anything to do with. Like, I feel like once you start down that black hole, like, when do you stop? I don't know. I don't want to get involved in that. Running a Narak time gate. What does he do? That's a good question. No, I'm serious. I will answer that. Right now, for the most part, what he does is buff other people with high wisdom with his Gith's or Eye Focus ability. That's pretty much what he gets used for. It doesn't mean he can't DPS, but if you're getting him out of a time gate, you're not going to get a lot of gear for him, which means he's not really going to compete with your other potential DPS options. Whereas his Gith's or Eye Focus doesn't need any gear. So, yeah. For now, that's what you're going to do with him. Are there any other no patron champs? Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves here, Joshua. Yeah, so Lucius the Nasty is does not qualify for any current patrons in his base form. We'll go look at that here in a minute. There aren't any other champions in the game currently that don't qualify. There were a couple, or at least one, before Strahd came out. Like, I know Dadius didn't qualify for anything. I can't remember if anyone else didn't. And then Strahd came out and suddenly there was a patron. So that gives me hope that, potentially the next patron, which is, will potentially be someone Lucius will qualify for. Let's see. Do you think they'll add more perks to the existing patrons? I kind of hope not right now. They're adding new patrons. I think that's enough. Because every time they add a new patron, presumably that's 5 tiers of perks. And those perks are pretty beefy, in my opinion. I think those are pretty solid. So yeah, I hope they kind of stick at 5. I don't see any reason to go past 5 in the current system. I feel like, so there are a lot of levers, like there are a lot of pillars of progression in the game. So you've got favor initially, which then caps out, and blessings, right? Favor is just how far you can level, and they can always raise the soft cap. They'll do that, every now and then on a regular basis. Blessings, right? Blessings is the other. Favor feeds into that in a kind of loop. And then you've got gear, like all the gear on champions. You got champions themselves as they add new champions. Those are ways to progress. You've got feats for champions. You've got that's called kind of part of the champion system. There's now Modrons, and then there's patrons, like patron perks. And it's like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of different levers that they can push. Like I said, they can adjust the soft cap upgrades all the time. Blessings they've kind of maxed out at in certain places. So Sword Coast, I feel like there is potentially an argument to add a tier 5 of Sword Coast at some point. Because Sword Coast goes on forever. Like that's the continuous, never ending campaign. They're always going to add more stuff to Sword Coast. So the higher the goals end up being in Sword Coast, I feel like, they can add another tier 4 eventually. I think that's fine. But these like Tomb of Annihilation is a completed campaign. There's really no reason to add a tier 5 to Tomb of Annihilation. There's nothing here that needs that, right? Helm only has 3 tiers. They've talked about the 4th tier. I do think they should add a 4th tier. I feel like 4 tiers is solid for each of these campaigns. Avernus only has 3. Man, and this is a big climb, right, to get to this one. But they only have 3. A 4th could be solid because, as we're seeing with this content that we're doing right now, like this is a gold level of 500. With patrons, it puts it up, well above that, right? So, there's an argument that for a 4th tier here, but again, I think 4 is good, and we're going to get more with Oral eventually. And again, I think, getting up to 4 there would be fine, but they already started with patrons at 5. Like, that's a lot. That's a big chunk, I don't know. I think it's pretty solid. I think just adding more patrons is where you're going to see more power come from there. I don't know that they'll ever add. Who knows? They might, but I don't know. Hold on. Okay. Does Penelope not crash the game anymore? I don't know. I don't know if she's completely fixed yet or not. Penelope and Esmeralda both have issues. That's why I didn't put Esmeralda in here. Well, that and it's Deacon's weekend buff, but I may have to pull Deacon out because, well, if we run into another wall, if we get to a point where they're jumping behind the party again, then I'll have to pull Deacon out. But, yeah, I don't know. I've had issues with Penelope on my WebGL account, crashing my WebGL account. I haven't had issues with her crashing my Steam account. So it's hard to say. Question. Gromma, Lazaps, or Walnut? Gromma. Yeah, Slickshot Gromma. Lazaps and Walnut, I think, are great tanks. Or good. I shouldn't say great. I think they're good options to have in your toolbox, but Gromma is the priority because of not only can she tank if you need her to, but that freezing breeze in her Arctic spec, that's going to do work for you for a very long time. Can you tell how many levels Briv's jump in his buff text? Yeah, Master Burglar. Like if for some reason mine was at 2, it would note 2 levels in here, I believe. Again, I've never punched it higher than this. The only reason it's at 90, it was like in the 60s or something, and I got it to golden when it came out. I just haven't tried to put any blacksmithing contracts to bump him up to higher than that into 2. I'm not interested in that loop just yet. I see a reason. I don't like black holes. Like, I don't like the idea of a black hole in a game where you can just dump endless amounts of something into it to get like a bonus. I mean, this game has that in the sense of your item levels, but in terms of something that is just so massive, like skipping, like jumping over levels, like Briv does, like to just fly through stuff. I don't know. That's just not my thing. I liked Sentry better. Sentry has an item cap. Like, you get to a certain percent and she caps out. But both Melf and Briv are kind of these endless black holes for their speed items, and I just feel like that's just a big way to break something, in my opinion. But isn't it Shandy that makes mobs move behind your tanks? No, Shandy's speeding up the entire game, like speed potions. So sure, it's a combination of speed in general and these effects of enemies moving super fast. But if you take out, like if I were to take out, back when this was really breaking, it was a Melf issue. If I were to take out Melf, like what's he on right now? Is it? Oh, this is extra enemies. So yeah, it's got to be Deacon or Shandy. But the thing is it doesn't do this for me, unless usually Melf and Deacon are both on their spawn speed buff. But because Deacon is getting this 200% confidence in the boss buff, it's causing it to happen. So like if I were to pull Deacon out, it probably wouldn't happen. That's how it worked last time, was if we just took Melf out because he was the one that was super breaking it, then, it didn't happen. I have E19 favor for Avernus. Is it possible to grind that up to E26 for the 4th global blessing? The max favor I've run is E22 on Kellenvor of all evergreens. I mean, eventually you could. I wouldn't say it's worth it at the moment if you're having a very hard time grinding favor. In fact, if we hop over here, let's look. I was like, why is that not doing that? There's gems on the ground. This is my Gaarawarr challenge account. I am in Avernus. What's my favor at? E20. So I've gotten to E20. I haven't oh, hey, I can soft cap. I haven't like been grinding favor. I've just been pushing on each of these basic adventure runs, which is what this is. This is just Dreamscape, regular normal Dreamscape. So I'm pushing through the base adventure line. I push each of them well past, like this was 275. I'm at 391. It'll go up into the 400 somewhere. I just push through and get favor in each one. I'm already up to E20. So I feel like if you treat it that way, you're fine. I haven't done any Azaka farming or anything. Really, the gold just comes from Krull. I put Krull in Pilfer. And then I just sit back and make lots of money. Like, I don't even have Jarlaxle in here. I use Jarlaxle early on, and then once I get to kind of a wall, like I use Jarlaxle and Deacon like as my early on gold and speed champions, and then when I get to a wall where I don't have damage, I bring in Avern and Penelope, and then I just push, into the high 400s. That's what it does. It's not like I'm running. I don't run Azaka farms. I don't run whatever. So I think you could get to 26. I just don't know that you just want to flat out grind for it. I think you just treat these adventures like favor runs. If you've already completed all the adventures, though, then yeah, you're going to have to run some free plays. And then, Azaka farming would come in good. Speaking of which, tomorrow will be Gaarawarr's Guide to Azaka on our Saturday stream. I'll talk a lot about I'll talk about Azaka as a champion. I'll talk about how to unlock Azaka. We won't do the unlock because I'll have to prep a very deep run to show off Azaka farming. So then we'll do like a very basic Azaka farm. I'll show you just like the minimum that you would put in for Azaka farming and show you what you get out of it. And then we'll start talking about like all the crazy ways you can ramp that gold up and demonstrate that stuff. We'll do all that tomorrow. So yeah, I have issues with Tyral. His shield is not working. Oh, yeah, it could just still be kind of broke. The WebGL version is probably a little behind. Yeah, I don't have a shield here either. So yeah, the shield's not working. The WebGL version is it like sometimes a patch behind with some of the fixes of the Steam version. So they did fix it recently on the Steam version, and then we just have to wait. Like I said, this is on WebGL. It's not Armor Games. This is the Codename site, and it's not working there. So we just have to wait for them to update the WebGL version. Free to play account or a little over a month in. My time gate gave me Havilar, Rosie, or Xander. Havilar. Yeah. Rosie and Zandy. Yeah. I'm just going to leave it like that. Rosie and Zandy are not too handy right now. Wow. No matter what, I can't seem to get my second champion for slot 3. Even this weekend, there was no one. Yeah. I mean, you're not guaranteed. One more piece to have a time gate. Who do you suggest in slot 3? With 3, I like Gromma. I don't have Gromma, but I like Gromma. I would have gotten Gromma if they had not offered me Omen in a time gate. Yeah. Omen's good too. I find Gromma a little more useful. What do I get this week? I have 8 time gate pieces, and I was going to go get Shandy, and then I was like, well, there's a natural time gate weekend. It might give me Shandy for free. So I held off. Let's see. Did I get Shandy? No. Omen again? Now, come on. They just gave me Omen in my last free time gate weekend. Sandy, can we get some protection? Duplicate protection, please. Not cool. Not cool. Barrowin and Farida. I mean, I guess I don't have Barrowin. I don't know that I'm going to use Barrowin though. And I already got split the party done. So to me, it's all about usefulness on this account. So I actually use Farida as my DPS. I may just go Farida and get some more item levels. It'll guarantee me that blue, like she's got that green on her ult. That'll turn that blue. I'll get some item levels for something. That's probably where I'll end up going, because I don't use Omen enough currently to care about getting him. Well, I guess if I grab Omen, he's going to get that last item, plus he's probably going to get blues in those other 2 slots. Yeah, I don't know. One of those. Farida or Omen. I'll have to think about that. I'm a little upset I got Omen twice in a row out of a natural time gate. Should you unlock patrons ASAP or wait until a certain point? Dominit. So on this account, we were trying to figure out what is an efficient way to play through. That's kind of one of the points of the Marzawar challenge. And what I did is I played through and I grabbed all my evergreens and unlocked split the party before unlocking any of the patrons, because the idea was to do patron stuff in the background. I haven't been super great about doing patron stuff in the background, though. I got to be more vigilant about doing that stuff. But yeah, because ultimately patrons are a time sink. And while they offer you some good stuff, like, do you need it right away? And on this account, I don't feel like I have needed it right away. I'm pushing real well. I completed all of the storyline and grabbed both the champions out of Tomb of Annihilation. I completed all of the basic storyline and grabbed Alcoria out of Waterdeep. I grabbed Dritz and pushed all the way through Barovia and completed Towering Expectations there, so I'm ready to unlock Strahd. Now I'm in Descent into Avernus, and I'm not having any problems pushing through the basic storyline whatsoever. It's real chunky buying these blessings. I will say I ran into some weird things. Like, I only just finished Huddled for Warmth, and I think I finished tier 2 before that. Some of the cost for Huddled for Warmth is real odd. It is a huge buff, though, 1,000%, but still, when it gets to the top, like, I bought Extreme Patronage before I could finish Huddled for Warmth. There's some weird number shenanigans going on in Tiamat. But this is going to obviously take a while, like, to get to 26. But I got the first 2 done, and I'm feeling good. So I feel like by the time I get to the end, I'll probably have enough favor. Like, if I keep doing this push. Yeah, I was saying on my on my Mars of War challenge stream, which is Thursday mornings, or Thursdays roughly, I guess afternoon, noon Pacific. I was saying that or not noon Pacific, 10 Pacific. I was saying I feel like this is a good, like, this campaign is really balanced for pushing in terms of favor and how much you need to earn. Because when I got to E18 in Waterdeep and Tomb of Annihilation, I had maxed out all my blessings. There was really no point in even trying to get any more favor. Whereas at least over here, there's a point, right? I don't know. Let's go back. Did we? Oh, we died. Hey. Okay. So time to bring in actual DPS champions. Are both my cores maxed out? No, not at all. The basic core you get for free, I have maxed. I do not have... Oh, come on. Get Grom out there. I got Grom's new skin. I like it. I do not have the strong core maxed. In fact, that's actually what I have in this. Here, I have no extra buffs from the core for this run right now. I just use it to automate the back one. And then I'm just getting levels on it so that I can eventually level it all the way up. But all right, did we get the cultist? Okay, cultist died there, the boss died. All right, so we're good on damage. We just had to get actual DPS in there. Kron, Lazaps, or Rosie? I would go Lazaps, honestly. Where's Lazaps? Down here somewhere. Where the hell is Lazaps? There we go. Yeah, I would grab Lazaps. Rosie's 10, slot 10, and I just don't think she's super useful in here or in general. And Krond is unfortunately in this slot, and I think Krull and Shandy and Ashara all are worth your time more than Krull is. I know there's some huge fans of Krull in the community. I'm just not one of them. How's my Dragonbait shiny? You know what? It's still not shiny. Wait, where's Dragonbait? Here. Still not shiny. We'll see if we can shiny it today. We do have... How many chests do I have? Oh, not today. Excuse me. My bad. We'll be waiting until the event starts. So next Friday. I was like, yeah, that should be over 1,000. Yeah, next Friday we'll see. What do I have? Anything to open today? Oh, I've got all the Penelope stuff to open today. So that's good. Oh, hey, this is the weekend chest. What do you get? Yeah, all dupes. Yeah, we'll open Penelope stuff, because I still haven't opened up the gold chest, because we didn't do a stream. An official stream last Friday. Streamed on my channel. Look at them. Look at them walk right past me. That was sneaky. All right. Actually, let's go back over here and talk about Lucius the Nasty. Excuse me, Elanasto, but I'm always going to call him the Nasty. I don't know. Do they do that on that show? This is one of the this is unfortunately one of the shows that I don't get to watch a lot of. I may have seen 1 or 2 episodes. All right. So Lucius. Lucius joins all the rest of the heroes of Erois, which are Ayla, Keelix, Sentry, and Nova. They've all been here a while. Ayla's an amazing tank. One of, in my opinion, the best tanks in the game. Keelix a solid healer swap, but in the Calliope slot, so it just depends on your gear as to which one is better, and sometimes formations. Sentry's the speed champion extraordinaire, but also is a tank if you want to use it as one. And Nova's a tanky supportish. So Lucius is going to show up and do the damages, I believe, right? Hold on, what is Lucius? Is he a deep? Why does it not say? Yeah, DPS champion. Okay. Oh, and Lucius brings Nova's Erois Synergy, which had not arrived at all. So let's open that up, and we'll go see what that is first. So Nova now gets a new Erois Synergy. Contributes to the Erois Synergy pool as follows: 60%. Per champion buffed by discovery. Multiplicative. Ooh, when things get multiplicative, they can get a little wild. Discovery is then increased by 20%, 5% of the total Erois Synergy pool. Wow. So, excuse me, a full Erois team and something that buffs up discovery could be pretty interesting. We'll have to wait and see what the numbers turn out to be. You can't really tell just by these spotlights. These spotlights give you an idea of how the champion works in terms of their formation stuff and where they're going to slot in, but you don't know until you see all the upgrades. You don't really know how strong they're going to be. Let's see. So focuses on acid and cold spells. Lawful neutral. Yeah. And this con puts them, if they do get a con feat, we don't know what feats they're going to get, but if they do get a +1 con feat, they'll qualify for Vajra. Just so you know. So even though it says eligible for patrons none, this is the base vanilla Lucius. We'll see if they give him a con feat. They should. If they don't, I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't. Slot 7, so swaps with Minsk. All the Minsk things. Hold on. Let me list off all of the Minsk things. Minsk, Caddy Bree, Farida, Black Viper, Jim, and Freely. That Freely one's going to be the difficult thing to rise above. But if you're going to run a full Erois party, not a big issue. Let's see what we got. Basic attack. Alternates between 2 attacks. Acid Splash. Attacks the furthest enemy with Acid Splash, dealing damage. We don't get that a lot. Caddy Bree attacks the furthest enemy, too. So that's interesting that we get another attacks furthest enemy. Jarlaxle always attacks the furthest enemy. Not sure who else. Ray of Frost just attacks random enemy, though. That's nice. Because here's the thing, is with furthest enemy. Any DPS champion that only attacks the furthest enemy doesn't work well with Crawl. And Crawl, until they balance him, is basically the big boy in your formation. So why would you use any DPS that doesn't work with Crawl? So Ray of Frost helps here because Ray of Frost will attack a random enemy and thus potentially trigger something that actually has Crawl stacks on it. Whereas Acid Splash won't. So Ray of Frost dealing damage and also damaging all enemies along the line between him and the enemy. Interesting. All right. So formation abilities. Let me make sure. Oh, no, I'm scrolling off. I knew it. All right. Arcane Chromat Acid. Enemies damaged by Acid Splash take 10% of Lucius's damage every second. So a dot. Not unlike... we got to make the comparison, right? Delana. This damage over time lasts until the enemy dies or is removed by Elemental Adept. Okay, we'll see what that is in a moment. Damage caused by this ability can be buffed by upgrades, feats, and equipment. Okay, good to know. Arcane Chromat Cold. Enemies damage or area frost are slowed by 50% for 10 seconds and take 100% more damage from all attacks while affected. Nice. That. I mean, so we have Grim from Beetle and Grim who can debuff and is a DPS, but there's also a support in their slot. So this is if Lucius, well, I don't know. Does it ever say? I don't think it says here that they're just DPS. We don't see roles here. So are they DPS or DPS support? I feel like if they're not tagged both DPS and support, then, I mean, it just says a DPS champion. So then this is like an undercover support champion because Arcane Chromat Cold gives him a debuff. And it's buffed by all the stuff. So, yeah. So like we have undercover DPS classes, now we have an undercover support in Lucius, it would seem. Elemental Adept. When an enemy is affected by both of Lucius's Arcane Chromat abilities, they are stunned and frozen in place for 3 seconds. Nice. I thought they exploded. Oh, after 3 seconds they explode with acid taking damage. Okay, so it's just a self-damaging explosion. It's not like they explode and are gone completely. Consumes both debuffs on the enemy. I'm not sure I like that, but sure. Spreads Arcane Chromat Acid to all nearby enemies. Okay. Each time the ability causes an enemy to explode, increases elemental depth stacks. Oh, we got a stacker? Oh, they cap at 100. Okay. But reset to 0 when changing. Okay, so he ramps up damage. But what do the stacks do? So the damage is based off stacks. Okay. Stun is equal to stacks over 5 seconds worth of. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll have to see how that one plays out. So basically, the longer they stay alive, and it's going to depend on. I guess it's going to depend on their attack speed. Interesting. The longer they stay alive, the higher they're going to be able to stack that up, and so this is somebody who's probably going to want a real tanky front line. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. It's always going to depend on the numbers, and we don't have any actual numbers here. Row of Synergy. Lucius contributes to the row of Synergy pool as follows: 100% per stack of Elemental Adept. Wow. Damage of Arcane Chromat Acid is then increased by 25% of the total. Okay. Yeah, this is all about the long game, the real long game with Elemental Adept. Specializations. Dichromancy. Lucius focuses on increasing the damage dealt by the combination of his 2 elements. Increases the explosion damage of Elemental Adept. Okay. 25%. Elemental Master. Lucius specializes in increasing his maximum Elemental Adept stacks by 50. We won't know how much that matters, I feel, until... Well, I guess it depends on what you're getting. There's going to have to be some math done here with the Aroa's Synergy and how easy it is to get him up to 150. And what the numbers are in that regard. Lingering Chill. Lucius focuses on maintaining some of his Elemental Adept stacks when changing areas, increasing the consistency of his Aroa's Synergy contribution. Okay, so he'd only loses half. So that seems nice too. I feel like my hot take would be Lingering Chill would be the just pick one and go with it selection, because you're going to keep a buff, but it really is going to depend on how much of a buff you're getting off his Elemental Adept stacks, and I feel like we don't really know that with this, or at least I can't tell at first glance. We'll see. Prismatic Spray. For his ultimate, 8 multicolored rays flash from Lucius's hand in a cone shape. Each enemy in the cone takes damage and receives both the Arcane Chromat Acid and Arcane Chromat Cold debuffs, triggering Elemental Adept. So this is saying that this is a big explosion, is what this is telling me, because all it's doing is triggering his Elemental Adept explosion on everything. So it's got to be a big number. Yeah. And items, let's see, we get self-damage, chromat acid, chromat cold. So they broke those up. Don't necessarily like that, but sure, okay. Ultimate attack and ultimate attack cooldown. All right. Yeah, I mean, he reads like a pure DPS. He wants to stick around for a long time, which makes him feel like he would work well with, he's going to ramp up that damage over time. So it feels like he's like Krull. Krull ramps up damage over time. Morgaine with her long game ramps up damage over time. And if you're waiting for Lucius to ramp up, you might as well have those two in. But you can't have Morgaine in because you want Ayla, because you want Aroa's synergy. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. Let us go back. Did I finish? I finished. Hey! Got the Archduke's blessing. What are your current thoughts for using Artemis as your DPS? I don't. It's a lot of work for not a lot of reward currently. With 3 greens, he seems pretty solid for you. If you're finding him useful, that's great. I think other DPS champs scale better than he does currently with what's available. But, everything depends on who else you actually have. So if the other people you have work well with him, great. But I don't know that I would go outrageous on Artemis just because he currently works for you, because he really falls off later. All right, Relentless Peril. Tyral ghouls now attack in each area. They could have just called this Ghouls Gone Wild, I guess. They have 2 times as much health as normal, and when they take a killing blow, they're stunned for 10 seconds before they come back to life. Still drop gold and quest items, though, and count towards the quest each time they're killed. Nice. This is one of those, just for anyone looking to farm up, well, we'll make sure that Tyral ghouls count as undead, but for anyone that wants to farm undead, this is how you do it. Any variant that gives you basically an endless amount of undead. Well, we'll see how many come out. If there's only one that comes out, or a couple, but if they just keep coming, this is an undead farming spot. This is going to be slot 5? No, slot 7. Minsk. Minsk is his swap. Let's see. Yeah, no, there's a lot of ghouls here, folks. This is birds all over again. This is the bird thing all over again. Am I going to have to not finish this and then farm up my Zorbu undead? Is that what they're telling me? Let's go take a look at what my Zorbu is. Come on. Where is he at? Oh, he's got to level up a bit. Boom. What you at? Undead. 2.59 EO5. Right. So this beast at 1 EO7 is because there was a variant that just had all the birds. Just all the birds. Like this. Except every time you kill the bird, more birds spawned. Yeah. And I killed all the birds to get to EO7. This is probably a variant where you would then farm all the undead. Just all of them. Because every time, like here, I'm gonna turn off auto progress, and we're gonna see just how many build up here. But I feel like I feel like I may just be farming undead all weekend. Look at all of them. Wow. You did it again. You did it again. See any? Who all is in there? Rose King. Oh, I went over that. Ayla, Sentry, Lucius, obviously, Nova, and Keelek. Where's the bird variant? The bird variant was in an event, wasn't it? Someone remind me. I think it's an event variant. And I think I just, for a week during that event, all I did on my main account was speed potion kill birds for a week. So you'd have to time gate that one and hope to get it. Yeah. You look at Nova's other new ability, Cosmic Resonance. Oh, I didn't know there was another new ability. I thought it was just Aroa Synergy. Hold on. Boom. Cosmic Resonance. Heroes of Aroas are automatically buffed by Discovery and are not included in the calculations for highest int score. So yeah, that's just their way of saying that they're going to get Discovery. And Discovery is, usually what you're doing over here with Mass Appeal is applying it to more champions so that everybody gets the Discovery buff. Because it's normally Discovery is only the top, like the highest intelligence score, like the 5 champions with the highest intelligence score. So basically, Cosmic Resonance ignores that and says, hey, here's a Aroas, get the buff no matter what. Yeah. Which still, for me, means I'm just running journaling. Because let's just double the buff, and then you're going to run. Like, if you're running an Aroas party, you then just want Discovery doubled. This is just when your DPS doesn't have a high int score and you need it to apply to them. So I've always done journaling when I've used Nova. Yeah, I look forward to seeing what kind of numbers people get up to now with like a full Aroas party. Once Lucius comes out, it should be interesting to try to meet all those qualifications and see just how crazy things can get. Look at that. Let's see just right now. What kind of kills are we getting? Oh, it's not going to tell me because I'm so high up here. I'm going to leave it here and we'll see when it switches over from 184 to 185. Maybe will it update live? Or do I got to close it and come back? Oh, I got to close and come back. So pretty quickly. Yeah. All right. We will load the speed formation back up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to push really far in and then I just won't quit. Oh, somebody make sure I don't quit this out. All right. Because I will. I totally will. And then I'll probably just farm Zorbu. Not that he needs more damage, but when you throw something, here's the thing with Zorbu farming. I don't normally just like to Zorbu farm, but when you throw a variant at me that makes it so easy to farm Zorbu kills up, why not? Why not? Like Zorbu doesn't need more damage to do stuff in this game for me. His item levels are under 100 last I checked, so it's not like I've even pumped his item levels up. It's just he's got a bunch of kills and he's just good. So, but if you're going to give me a lot of undead things, like an endless supply of undead that I can kill over and over and over again, they're just going to respawn and then I get to kill them again. Yeah, we're farming undead. What's the smoke behind me? That's actually my humidifier. I got a new humidifier because it's winter here and it gets real cold in the winter. And then, with the heater on all the time, it dries the air out. And I never had one before, but with my allergies as bad as they are, I was like, no, I don't need a dry nose and allergies. I'll be like blowing blood out my nose. Horrible. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, that would have been with as bad as my allergies have been this year. It would not have been a fun winter. And actually that's not only has that made that not happen, it's made my allergies go down somehow. I don't know why. Nova, Nrak, or Rosie? Yeah, Nova. Nova, probably, especially with Lucius coming. If you're a new player and you want to try out Heroes of Aroas, sure. Why would you farm undead? I think I just explained that. It's a crawl thing. I mean, a Zorbu thing. How do you use crawl correctly? Group conflict, you put him in your formation. That's it, really. I mean, I guess there's ways to maximize him. Like, you want the feats you want his virulent strain feats. Let me go get the names for those off my other account where he's actually in. I don't want to screw up that run. Venomous Touch is a 50% bonus. And then I don't have it over here. Increased Toxicity, which comes out of gold chests. So you just got to open lots of gold chests. But basically you run those and that that basically ups your virulent strain chance, and your virulent strain is what breaks Krull. It basically allows you, instead of just 10 stacks of his plagues, it allows you to get another instance of the plague. When something else dies, it can transfer the plague with virulent strain. And then that with 2 instances, it can go up to 20, and with 3, it can go up to 30, and with 4, it can go up to 40. And each instance multiplies by against itself. So the math goes into places that math in this game shouldn't really go at that point, which is why he's broken. So yeah. And then the only other thing you would do with Krull is you want to make sure you have a real beefy tank or multiple beefy tanks, because Krull needs time. Krull needs to get those. He only puts plagues like occasionally when something spawns, it'll spawn with a plague. And then anything he hits gets a plague, but he's got 3 different kinds of plagues. And the one you want for the damages is his pain, which are the red vials. So it can take a while to get enemies, to get the right plague on them, and then they tick up from 1 to 10 slowly every second. So you really want a strong tank, and then you want a DPS that hits things that are on your tanks. You don't want a DPS that only attacks in the back. So this is the point where Jarlaxle for new players is great, but once you get Krull, Jarlaxle is then no longer your DPS, because he only hits things in the back, and he can't hit anything that has a big stack of plagues on it, because they just don't have that in the back because they're brand new. So at that point, that's when Hitch just becomes your major DPS. And like I said, I'm running on that account. I'm still running Hitch as my DPS. Occasionally Farida. Like I think I'm using Farida right now in Avernus because it just made a lot of sense. But yeah, that's it. Krond or Walnut in a free gate? I would go Walnut. And I'm thinking, was the question earlier Krull or Krond? It was Krond, right? Man. Hold on. I swear we had... I don't know. In general, if you see Krull in your time gate, you get... Yeah, okay, it was Kron, Lazaps, and Rosie. I was going to say, if you see Krull in your natural time gate and you don't have him, get him. If you didn't get him in a natural time gate and you're new, then he needs to be your first manual time gate right now while he's broken. As long as Krull is broken, Krull is your first time gate option over anything in this game. Yeah. More specifically on Krull, once you've reached soft cap fairly easily, is it better to use pain or plunder to push deeper? It depends on the purpose. Like, what's your purpose? Like, I soft cap on my new account, but I still run Pilfer. It's Pilfer, not Plunder. But I still run Pilfer because my purpose in those deep runs is earning lots of gold for favor, right? Like I'm trying to do favor runs. If my purpose after soft cap is to complete a difficult variant, I haven't reached that point yet. Like if the whole point of a run is just to complete it and peace out, then I'm going to run pain, because I probably already have enough gold to do it. I just want it done quickly and without any speed bumps. So yeah, depends on your purpose in the push, in my opinion. And then it could change if you're trying to do like super deep Azaka runs. I prefer pain, even though it's only a little bit more, because you're already soft capping, so who cares? And then, I don't know. I find the multiplier gets me a little further, and then I just run gold find stuff, and it's fine. I don't know. Some people argue that, but I haven't seen hardcore math on why it should be any other way. Question on time. We got a Rosie, and the variant says if I get it, I unlock the B variant skins for Rosie and Strix. Will this unlock Strix as well? I don't believe it unlocks Strix as well. It'll just, the costume will be there for her when you do unlock her. And honestly, there may still be a bug with that one, Seamus. If you, I would do that one. I mean, obviously, if you unlocked it, then do it. If you don't get the skin for Rosie, just submit a ticket. Because some of the rewards for the skins, they were bugged, and they weren't giving things to people right away. like they should. Just make sure you submit a ticket so that they can, hopefully, like they'll get you the skin, but B, then hopefully maybe they'll get information from your account that lets them fix that issue. Strix, Rosie, or Beetle and Grim for the free game. Beetle and Grim. They're far more useful currently. You think they will ever unbreak Kroll? They've kind of already said that yes. Like at some point, he will not be the way he is. It's just when, right? You know, so until they do, you know, enjoy, I guess. But at some point, I would say, like, so they unbroke double dipping on ultimates. And when they unbroke double dipping on ultimates, they delivered like a soft cap upgrade, right? And some other stuff. So I would assume that this is just me theory crafting. I've not had these discussions with CNE. I want to be very clear. Me theory crafting from what I know about game development, what I've watched them do in this game, is I would say when they're able to push out the fix for large numbers on all platforms, because right now I think it's some of the platforms don't have the ability to, like, they're still trying to fix the large number issue, which is basically there's a point in the game where the game breaks because it can't calculate super large numbers. So they've kind of set up this wall, like a ban wall, so that you don't go past it and break the game. And right now that's at like 1100. So to be able to push higher than that, they need to fix that large number issue, and they want to fix it. They've stated they want to fix it on all platforms and push out the fix for all platforms at once, and not just push it for some platforms and not others. So, and they're holding off on like soft cap upgrades until then, and maybe they're holding off some extra blessings. Maybe they're holding off on a lot of things, right, that would add power to the game until then. So it would make sense to me that once they can fix that on all platforms, then they can push out things like soft cap upgrades and maybe another tier of blessings in a couple of those, you know, in what Waterdeep and Avernus could use a fourth tier. They could push that all at once and balance like the most broken champions at the same time, because ideally you would see the power from a new soft cap upgrades and the power from maybe new blessings and maybe a new patron and their perks. All of that arriving at once would kind of negate this nerf factor from, say, like, if they decided to balance the unholy trio of Krull, Avrin, and Zorbu all at the same time, there may be a like a scale balance there, right? So that may be what they're waiting for. I don't really know, but I would say that's kind of my headcanon at the moment. Glimmering Eye, new account here. Welcome to the game. My Tamgate offers me Birdsong, Palton, and Jaheira. Ooh. So those are three kind of, I guess you would call them off-script champions. Like, none of those are used widely, but they're all useful. They're just not, like, as you get more champions, you find other things that are a little better. Okay, so Jaheira's 4. Wow, you get Palton and Jaheira at the same time. That's odd. They're both slot 4. So between Palton, if you were going to go for one of these two, you'd pick Palton, in my opinion. I think Palton's better. Birdsong is all the way down here, somewhere here. Birdsong is a Mako swap. Birdsong is a DPS / support. Can be an interesting support, and at one time was a top tier DPS. And I still use in my speed farms, because she's a fast attacker and a multi-attacker. So, yeah, I would say either Birdsong or Palton, depending on what you want. Like, you're going to want to plan ahead to kind of, ultimately you want, at least as a new player, you want at least 2 champions in each slot, because that's going to unlock your adventuring parties. So you already have Jarlaxle here. Palton is actually, you know what? No, I'm going to go Palton. I'm going to say 100% Palton for a new player, because Jarlaxle is a great early DPS, but then he falls off to other DPS champions. And then he has nothing to provide your party other than Gold Find. Palton gives you Gold Find and support buffs. So yeah, grab Palton. Havilar, Cathris, and Narak. I mean, I would go Havi. I like Havilar. I think she's a great mid tank option. And then, in certain places, she's also going to be that speed option when you put her imps out like I did right here. So in Avernus, she's going to give you some speed. In Mad Wizard runs, she's going to give you some speed. But she can also be a decent tank, too. And there's some utility with her ultimate that slows. It's got this stacking slow if they haven't fixed it yet. It's just, look at that ball girl. It's got this stacking slow that can basically freeze things in their place. Is Shandy a good speed hero? One of the best, in my opinion. Like, there's two speed heroes right out of the gate that don't need any gear, but can give you just kind of, they give it all I got, Captain. Shandy's one of them. Shandy speeds the entire game up by 30%, much like a speed potion. She's in right now. She's not giving us a lot of speed here because the enemies are strong enough to get to our party, but yeah, she's pretty solid speedster. Deacon's the other one that's super fast early on. But just a lot of speed for no investment other than getting her, and she doesn't need gear for it. So yeah, I like that. I rate that highly in a speed champion. Thought Jaheira was best in slot for buffs. I've never heard that said. Possibly, because there's not a lot of strong buffers here. This isn't really a buff slot. So when you're looking at, so here's how this works. So when you have 10 champions that you can put in, there's always going to be 2 slots that get left out. And this is usually one of them at the end game, because the people here aren't necessarily someone you're having in that final push. Jaheira might be best in slot for buffs, but I've never heard that, but still probably not good enough to pop out that 10th buffer from another slot. I don't know. I don't think Jaheira gives gold. Jaheira give gold? So I wouldn't want Jaheira on a new. Okay, hold on. I wouldn't want Jaheira on a new. Yeah, just DPS support. I wouldn't recommend Jaheira for new players because you'd have no gold support. Jarlaxle is huge in gold support for building up favor early on, and Paulton's not far behind, so having Paulton give gold and have buffs is, to me, the better option. Question on time gates. To get the extra silver chests at the 100 area milestones, is it a good strategy to try to hit area 200 in the first mission and 300 in the second? Slickshot, it really just depends on what your capabilities are. Like, new players aren't going to be able to hit 200. Like, they're going to be happy if they hit 100. For me, what I do is I pop when I start a time gate, when I start that first run in a time gate, I pop a 1 hour potion for everything, basically. And when it runs out, I reset. So wherever I get, I'll swap out. Now, if I am close to, like if I'm within, a short push of another 100 milestone, I'll go ahead and push after the potions wear off and get it if I'm real close. But generally I won't. Generally I just reset, and then on my second run I do the same thing. And on that second run I'll push even further because I'll have been starting with a lot of favor, which is just going to let me race through stuff faster and push further. But again, just an hour. And then I look at where I kind of end up after that hour. And that's where then I will generally decide, well, do I want to make a small push to get that last little milestone silver? If so, I'll do it. But then I bounce out and then I just do the variant. And when the variant hits its completion level, I complete it, and then I'm done with that time gate. But if you feel like there's still meat on the bone, you could then do a free play after that. I just don't go all in super hard on the very first run because you have no favor support for it. It doesn't really matter if you can hit Saf Cap on that first run if it takes you forever because you're just grinding slowly through it, even with speed potions. For your time is better spent doing that deeper push on your second run, supported by the favor you got on your first run. In my opinion. Can you help me with time gate selection? My options are Dadius, who would be new, Krydle, who would be new, or Warden, who already has some gear. That's a harder selection for me than I would have thought, but it is. Because part of me wants to say grab a new champion, but Krydle and Dadius aren't necessarily super great currently. Where's Cradle? Cradle's a slot 2 swap. He's a DPS and a support. But he really wants to be used with the Heroes of Baldur's Gate. And he likes it when people are in the back of the formation. Where's Daddy? Daddy's down here somewhere. Oh no, he's right here. I always hop over him. He's a Calliope swap. Or a Briv swap if you've got Briv too. But he's, yeah, swaps with Calliope. Like if you have magic users, maybe Dadius. If you're using magic users as DPS. But usually early on, Calliope's, the gear out of Calliope is just going to keep you using Calliope. I mean, if you're still trying to figure out, if you're still trying to do split the party and either Cridle or Dadius gives you your second person in a slot for split the party, then pick that person. Otherwise, I think maybe you just do Warden, more gear on Warden, and hope you get some debuff stuff. Cridle and Dadius just don't contribute a whole lot. So unless you're to the point where you're just like, I got to catch them all, I don't know that it matters too much. All right, let's put Zorbu back in. We need some damage. And we'll get Grama back in. After I've gotten all the chests, is there a reason to do a free play other than easy blessing tokens? Easy blessing tokens? I don't know what that means. So once you've done so like for those who don't know, with a time gate, it gives you an option of 3 adventures. I guess I just got to pick one of these. We're going to Saspia. It gives you an option to do just a regular completion, which gives you a chest. And if you don't own this champion, you also unlock the champion here. Then another one with a chest. And then it gives you a variant, which could be a random completion area for a gold chest. And that's it. You get 3 gold chests and a champion. And then the way you get silvers in a time gate is for every unique 100 levels you go. So the first time you hit 100, and the first time you hit 200, and then the first time you hit 300, you get a silver chest for that. So that's the only thing. If once you've grabbed all 3 golds, the only thing you would look at is like when you were doing these, like I was saying earlier, look to see if you're near one of those breakpoints of either close to 100, close to 200, close to 300. And that's the first time you got there, then you want to push a little further and grab that. If you think you could push a lot further, then you would want to go into a free play after you did these and try to grab all the rest of them. For me, I'm usually in the like 400s, maybe 500s on my first run on this account because I've got a lot of power. And I can do that in an hour. And then on the second one, that's when I push to like 700. And then I'm usually good because 7 silver chests is great. Pushing to get the 8th, don't really care for it. It's not a huge improvement for me. Whereas if it was like, if I got to 100 on this one, and then this one, I'm like, I'm almost to 200. Yeah, I'm going to push because I want that. That gives me twice as many silver chests as I would have gotten. Like that extra one is worth more is what I'm trying to say when you can't go very far. And then I would just do this and peace out. So, yeah. I don't know why I picked that. I don't know why I opened that. I should have done it on my other account because all I'm going to do is farm ghouls all weekend, but that's okay. Which champion needs an improvement? Oh, more than one. There's no single one. There's a lot. I think the biggest problem with the game though isn't the champions at the bottom. It's the champions at the top. And like I said, there's an unholy trinity currently of, Zorbu, Krull, and Avron that kind of just real strong, like real strong. And I think Avron, I include Avron in this because I think Avron would have been real strong and potentially would have gotten an adjustment early on if Krull hadn't come in the very next event and been so outrageously overpowered that everyone forgot about Avron. And there's a potential that Freely might be like the 4th tag along in this with his stacks that he can do, but without seeing those first 3 brought into line, it's hard to tell Who else is truly out of whack? Like in terms of, numerically. Because here's the thing. There should not just be, there should always be options. You should always have options. You should have options with the DPS you choose. You should have options like all gear being equal, all things being equal. There should be options. And right now, Zorbu is just so much higher, like EO 5 plus higher, with like equal stuff. It's just kind of outrageous. And Krull is like bigger than that. Avern's a pretty solid jump for things. I don't know his numbers specifically, but he is. I mean, Avern's the best buffer in the game. Krull's the best debuffer in the game, and Zorbu's the best DPS in the game. There you go. So before anything else, there's problems there. So if you could bring those in, you could have probably a large variety of support and DPS options, deeper in if those were brought online. Now, then you would have to look at who's truly then at the bottom at that point. And it's hard to say because like there's people here that people don't use a lot. Like Azaka doesn't get used a lot. Neris, Melfor only really gets used for speed. Penelope, I think, is a pretty good support. But a lot of people just don't mess with it because Zorbu, right? Avern, same kind of thing, right? Like people don't. Jamila feels like she could use a little bit of a bump, but I wouldn't say she's at the bottom. She's just not anybody that you would pick over Avern, right? So this is where the problems lie, right? Where's Krull? Krull's over here, right? Like the people in this slot are all pretty solid, but the only people who use at the wall tends to be Krull. So that creates problems. But in general, like Rosie needs something. Rosie needs a life vest. Like even when I build around Rosie, it just doesn't feel good. Whereas I can build around like the other champions in here and it feels like I'm doing the right thing, but it doesn't feel like I'm doing the right thing when I build around Rosie. Narak is like a one-trick pony. Delana has this like real small niche that needs to be widened, and then I think she'd be fantastic because I think she's got the damage, but she just doesn't get use. Like she just doesn't have the support still, and because she needs a real specific layout, like formation layout, to really maximize. But even then, you're not getting a whole ton with that placement, and it just feels like kind of a wasted ability. So yeah, like these two could probably use some help. Volanya, maybe a little. It's hard to say because I don't know, like Beetle and Grim are kind of killing this slot right now. Like they're doing great. They're doing great work. Black Viper's a little off. I actually did a run with her and I tried to form like everybody just focusing on Black Viper, like really trying to build a Black Viper formation. And it wasn't horrible. But there's a boost that needs to happen there. Xander's and Puent are just not good. They both need help. Like someone was saying Jaheira's best in slot, but I don't know. She feels middle of the pack to me, but that's fine. I don't mind. Like there's a lot of middle of the pack people here. Ishi's not great at what she's supposed to be doing. In my opinion, I don't think she brings damage or goal really. She just attacks real fast, which is a niche. But if you attack real fast, but you're not doing any damage, doesn't matter. Artemis could use a little help, but that may just be that he needs more champions to support him. Cradle needs some love. And I like everybody here. I don't have a problem with anyone. I think Sasaspi and Esmeralda get a lot of trash talk, but they both do fantastically in their niche. And I think I'm totally fine with like defining a solid, useful niche for a champion and then having that be what they do and where they shine, because when they get in that niche, they really shine. We got about 40 minutes left. Oh, yeah, we're going to blow through this one pretty easily. I just got to remember not to reset it. Don't reset it. Okay. Will the third mission on the variant mission drop these chests as well? Yes. Like the silver chest, yes, Slick Shot, but the thing is you don't want to push deep on a variant. That's just, why do that to yourself? Variants are more difficult to push deep in than regular adventures. So just push deep in the first 2 adventures or do a free play later. Just do a variant and get the heck out when you're done with it. Variants aren't for pushing in. They're for just getting to the completion and getting out. Just found the start of this game today. Welcome, Acidic P. Are there any good new player guides I should check out? Yeah, there's a few. There's a few. Did somebody do the... I don't know if... Is this still here? Hold on, let me check if this... Hey, there you go. There's some. But more in general, that directs you to the Reddit, the Idle Champions Reddit. And there is a wiki in the Reddit that has all kinds of resources for players linked in it. That's just a list of my stuff, which has a lot of new player stuff. But, you know, you can go to the top of that and go back to the wiki and find all the things. You also want to join the Discord, which is ! Discord in chat. Or is it Champions Discord? Oh, I can't remember now. Hold on. At one point they were changing. No, it's just Discord. Okay. There's lots of people that can help you out in the Discord too. So, Warden is also next week though. No. I'm gonna go with no. Oh, no, it's Dadius that drops off. So, yeah, Warden comes next week. So, Dadius is year 1, so he won't be arriving with Cymril. So, it'll be Warden, it'll be Krull, oof, and it'll be Lucius the Elenastos, the Nasty. He's just Lucius the Nasty. So, yeah, if you've never gotten Krull before, next Wednesday, the first thing you do when the event opens up is go unlock Krull. There, that's my guide to Cymril. No, I will have a guide for Cymril, a new guide for Cymril year 4 out next week. But yeah, get Krull right away. He doesn't need gear. He comes free with his with that 1 virulent strain feat and then his pain feat, if I remember correctly. Just slot those right out the bat and profit. But then yeah, pick up Warden next week. He's got a nice debuff, and it lingers currently. At some point that'll change too, but while it still lingers, take advantage of it. And then we'll get Lucius. Lucius's stuff will appear down here. Yeah. Okay, we're not killing this, which means... Oh, here, let's just... I guess we'll put Krull in. What feats do I have in? Oh, I must have been a Zaka farming. All right. There we go. Yep, that's what he wants. He just wants this. He wants Venomous Touch and increased toxicity. But when you start off, you get Boils and Venomous Touch, and you just want to slot those two. These two, when you pick them up on Wednesday, first thing, noon Pacific. Get yourself some Krull. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to swap out multiple things. Let's get these back out. Who else do we need in here? Oh, yeah, it's probably Avon time. Yeah, this is what basically pushes through all the things. All right, I will swap these, and I'll put Avon up here, and then that'll end up falling over. Once he gets his mirror image, yeah, there it goes. Everything will fall over. I have 2 champions for each slot. For my time gate, should I choose Melf or Daddy's? Melf. Yeah, Melf. Melf is a speedy boy. What are they nerfing debuffs that stick around? At some point, yeah. At some point. Debuffs shouldn't linger. They should really only be out when the champion is out, and then they should go away. It just breaks too many things when they can stick around, so... Who knows? Who knows when they'll do it, but at some point they'll probably do it. Yeah. Is Korth good to unlock in a time gate? Have Celeste and R. Already have Evelyn and Sentry. Tempted to go back and farm gear for Sentry. I mean, Korth's okay. He's not going to do a whole lot for you without gear in that slot competing against Celeste, who's going to have lots of gear. So it's up to you. I mean, if you got to catch them all, go grab Korth. But otherwise, gear for Sentry is a good idea because she scales with gear. What's the highest boss power up you've hit. Oh, over 1,000. At that point, I stopped paying attention. I want to say, like, I mean, I could manipulate that and just hit outrageous numbers. I could just drop to like level 5 boss. Well, no, I'd kill it real quick. I could do somewhere in the mid, like couple hundreds, and just have a tank in that the boss is never going to kill, and let the boss power up for thousands. And yeah, that's easily manipulatable, but not super fun. Oops, sorry. What are you farming at the moment? At the moment, I'm trying to do this variant, Relentless Peril. However, when I complete it, I'm just going to farm undead kills on Zorbu, because all of these ghouls are going to stack up and more are going to come out, and it's just going to make for great farming for Zorbu's lifelong enemies. Here you go. Lifelong enemies is, well, no, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this right now. Lifelong enemies, lifelong enemies is not what's broken about Zorbu. What's broken about Zorbu is the fact that Hunter's Pack applies to himself. That's kind of what's broken about him. But probably it could potentially just be lead the pack. Letting Hunter's Pack multiply against seething hatred is a little crazy. But I think it's just that Zorbu gets this buff. Like we see Torgar. Torgar came out with this stacking thing, like infinitely stacking thing, with some real neat utility stuff in it. I really like his kit. But he doesn't buff himself. So everyone's like, oh. Right? And I feel like that's where Zorbu should be. I feel like Zorbu should be like, he should be great against these enemies. Like you would slot him in if you really need to try to get some damage against these. And he could also be a support because he would be able to buff others around him with Hunter's Pack. But you'd just be like, okay, outside of that, like there may be other options that I could use that end up being better. And that's what you should think, right? Like there should be a situation where it works. But because he buffs himself with Hunter's Pack, he gets the advantage of everything. All of it. I don't know. Should I burn time gate pieces on Krull before he drops on Wednesday? No. If you'd had time gate pieces a week ago, I'd have said yes. But when we're only just like a handful of days out from when he's arriving, no, it's not. You're not going to get enough use out of him in that point of time for it to really matter. And again, Krull doesn't need gear, guys. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his gear. The multipliers that break him are in his feats. Gear's nice. I'm not going to say don't get any gear for him, but you could get him out of a time gate. Like here, let's go back over here. Hey, I'm on right now. This is my gear that I have for him from time gates, and then, or from the one time gate. And then there was like some free chests that were out. They're probably still out there from the 2020 hidden combinations list, right? He ended up pretty geared. But even without gear, he still would be breaking things just because of Virulent Strain. Virulent Strain is all that matters. And Virulent Strain has nothing to do with gear. None of his gear affects Virulent Strain, right? This is damage. All this is Plague Pilfer. That's nice, but it's only 50%. Plague Pain is a bit bigger. Arkan's Army never gets used. His ultimate, whatever. Those aren't the broken things. It is just all about Virulent Strain. It's nice to have bigger multipliers for Pain and Pilfer. It is. But those are like, those are like the cherry on top of the sundae. Krull already has enough going on. Like the cherry's nice, but it's not what makes the sundae delicious. Originally, didn't Zorbu not buff himself? Originally, Zorbu did a whole lot of different things. Zorbu got a full rework. Hold on, give me a second. I think I've got all that information in my archive. Scroll down. When did Zorbu Fleet's Wake? March 7th, 2018. Let's hop in the Wayback Machine, folks. This was the old Gaarawarr's guides to events. And they were organized a little differently. Okay, so Zorbu, Thunderbolt, Natin. So he still had his same basic attack. He still had the Mechanical Squirrel. Hunter's Pack. Zorba increases the damage of adjacent champions 15 or higher. Place high dex champions next to Zorbu. Yeah. So he didn't buff himself with Hunter's Pack, first off. Favorite enemies. Zorbu favors hunting, Drow Fiend, Aberration, Giant Elemental enemies. They take additional damage from the party. So this was his original favorite enemy. It was very much like Minsk. And it was Drow Fiend, Aberration, Giant Elementals. So it was a very niche favorite enemy type situation. His specs were Colossus Slayer, where he deals additional damage to already injured enemies, and Horde Breaker, additional damage to enemies who are actively attacking the formation. So this is like, this was supposed to be all of these enemies, and then this was supposed to be like the boss killer. It just didn't really work very well. Oh, and originally he only leveled up to 175. Soft caps. They've gone way up since 2018. Yeah. So originally he did a whole lot of nothing. He wasn't really used that much. And then he got this rework that just did all the things. Yeah, you can find that information on my guide page. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a historical archive that has all my old events. My event stuff in it. So any event champion, any old event champion, if you want to see what they looked like when they first came out, all of those are back there. So yeah, he is a lot different now. He is a whole lot different now. We got about a half an hour to go. So if you didn't see already, habam, Lucius Elanasto is joining the party next week as part of Cymril. Cymril this year will let you unlock Warden, Krull, and Lucius. Right away, first thing you should unlock right away, Krull. And then throw him in without any gear. He doesn't need gear. Just start and join him. He can be anywhere except in the tank slot. So he's that person that can just go anywhere in your party. Don't worry about the stuff that says he works with Archon. I mean, technically he works with Archon, but he's not making Archon any better probably than your other champions. He doesn't want to be used with somebody like Jarlaxle who attacks from the back. He wants to be somebody that either attacks the nearest enemy or a random enemy. So keep that in mind for picking your DPS with him. And then just get a beefy front line so that he can stack up his plagues forever and you'll be good. Does Zorbu need gear? Zorbu needs gear less than most DPS champions because Zorbu can get power from those lifelong enemies. So Zorbu needs farm. You need to go out and kill lots of things. I think EO5 is enough. EO5, for those who don't know, it's 5 zeros after whatever your number is. Like you're basically not 5 zeros. I shouldn't say it that way. I say it that way because I know what I mean. But what I should say is you move the decimal place over 5 points. So if it's 1 point, like we have 1.68 E101 currently gold up here in the top left. That means I'm moving the decimal spot 101 places to the right. So EO5 basically means 100,000. I think if you get to 100,000 kills on Zorbu for everything, you're fine. And you only have to farm undead beasts and drow. It says humanoid, but drow count as humanoid, so you can ignore those and just kill drow. They give you both drow and humanoid bonuses, so you only got to farm 100,000 3 times. The way most people do that is they just throw one of those forever speed potions on and sit on one level and just let him kill things. Just make sure he's the only person killing things, and it's fine. But yeah, you could do that, and he could have like all white gear, and he'd still be your best DPS if he had 100,000 kills on everything. So my free time gates are Kron, Warden, and Pwent. I have Kron and Pwent unlocked, but basically never use them. I don't have Warden, but he's coming with the event. Man. I get a lot of flack for this, but I would say just get Warden. I don't know why he's in your free time gate when he comes out next event. He shouldn't be. Thought they put a lock on that, but I don't know. Maybe they broke it. I would say Warden just because, yeah, you don't get to do his event. And some people are like, well, you missed that free chest during the event. Well, and you don't miss it. You're getting it sooner, and you don't have to pay tokens for it. And if it ends up being the 5,000 token variant, woohoo! Like jackpot, you get 2 extra free plays. I don't know. I would say Warden. Say it right that I will get Krull the next Wednesday for free. Yes. So a mistake to use my 6 time gate pieces for Krull tomorrow. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't spend 6 time gate pieces to get Krull right now. If you don't have Avron yet, get Avron. Well, no, you should have it. Well, just if you don't have Avron yet, get Avron. Like you want Avron, Krull, and Zorbu again are currently the top 3. So you're getting Krull next. So, I don't know. I picked Krull on my newer account, on my Marzawar account. I got Krull as my first free time gate. I got Deacon as my second. And my third, since I didn't get her in this natural time gate, will be Shandy, because I want the speeds. Krull gets me far enough. I don't need to get any further where I'm at in the game on my new account. Krull gets me where I need to go. I just want to get there faster. So I want Deacon and Shandy, because they'll get me there faster. When does the new event start? Wednesday. Wednesday at noon. What is Wednesday? December 2nd. December 2nd. Noon Pacific, or what we call CNE time. Which slot is Lucian? 7. With Minsk. The biggest competition in that slot will be Freely. Freely is currently... He's a very lucky boy that you usually want in from level 1 for his adventurous tale. And then he offers lots of gold and debuffs alongside that. So, yeah. Let's see. We can look at Lucius again real quick here. Oh, hey, there we go. Yep. Lucius the Nasty. Yeah, slot 7. He's going to be a DPS champion, but he's DPS and sleeper support, it feels like, because he applies a debuff. I don't know. We'll see how it works. It seems like he could be a sleeper support. He attacks with alternates Acid Splash, Ray of Frost. Acid Splash is furthest enemy. Ray of Frost is random enemy, and this is what saves him, because if he'd only been furthest enemy, then he wouldn't be useful with Krull. So the random enemy with Ray of Frost helps out quite a bit. And then all of his stuff basically buffs these things. And when you hit both of these, when you hit a target with both of these, it does this whole stuns them for 3 seconds, and then they explode. Yeah. And everything's built around that. Everything's built around Elemental Adept. So this is the key. This is the key component. And interestingly, yeah. So Elemental Adept itself is not supported by feats or items, but the arcane chromats are. So, yeah. Again, it's read through. We don't really know how strong this is going to be until we actually see all the numbers for it, which will come out, which we'll see on Wednesday. But even the ultimate is part of basically Elemental Adept. It basically triggers that frozen and explosion for all the enemies. So Elemental Adept is the key. So once we know more about how crazy Elemental Adept is, we'll know how crazy or not, or wild or not, Lucius is. So the basic versions of these variants, the new Avernus Part 8 variants, seem to be fairly straightforward. I think Relentless Peril, though, it just seems like the Zorbu farm. Like, go in the vanilla version. Don't do it until you have some time to Zorbu farm. I'll probably Zorbu farm him all the weekend. I may Zorbu farm him until the event starts. Oh, no. I can't. I'm only going to be able to Zorbu. Oh, man. They got me. They got me good. I've got a show tomorrow. Gaarawarr's Guide to Azaka is tomorrow. So unless I want to do Azaka farming on Relentless Peril, I'm going to have to stop at some point. I don't know. Maybe we'll Azaka farm in Relentless Peril. Why are we not moving? Okay, we are moving forward. All right. Yeah, I may just push here and see how far I can push in Relentless Peril, and we may Azaka farm in this variant. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? Because I don't want to give up all that sweet undead farm. If they're going to make it this easy, I'm going to take advantage of it. Yeah, 2.6 EO5. I mean, we're moving on up. Moving on up. Might as well get that to EO7 like I did with, or try to, at least EO6 maybe, like I did with the beasts. Would you recommend spending my 6 time get pieces for Gromma? One more is slot 3. Yeah, if it's slot 3 is all you need to get multi-party and mode-drone automation, then Gromma would be my pick of choice out of slot 3. Almond's another good option. Spurt's a good option, but I think Gromma's the turtle. No, there's no rhyme there. Yeah, get Gromma. Can't you do the Azaka farm in a second party? I mean, that's a good point. Yeah, I could stay in this and I could do it in the other one. It does mean I have to pull this whole party out and swap them over, or most of this party out and swap over somewhere else. Yeah, I can do that. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, I've still got the splash screen up. Well, you get to enjoy Lucius. There wasn't much going on here anyway, folks. There wasn't much going on this screen. They're just trying to beat this guy. Or girl, excuse me. Lucille, you picked a fine time to fear me, Lucille. Yeah, see, Lucille has a fear, if you don't know. When she attacks, now the thing is she's not getting anywhere close to this party to be able to attack. So, and I feel like maybe, oh no, I'm not ulting. I was going to say, maybe they fixed the Havilar thing, but I'm not ulting, so Lucille's not getting slowed. This is just a combination of Dinar and Ayla and Gromma, keeping Lucille all the way in the back and not letting her get anywhere close to me. Which champion is the best tank in the game? So I feel like if you've got the item support, I feel like Tyral is, but Ayla's up there. Ayla's right there. I think they're neck and neck, and depending on what where your progress is, Ayla may come out better at some points than Tyral, because Ayla resets her shield. They're both the best tanks in the game because they both have self shields. That's really it. That's what makes them the best tanks in the game. They can shield themselves, and it's a percent of their health, and it goes up to just outrageous numbers. So that makes them the best tanks in the game, because when you can shield for larger multipliers than your health, that means you can take your whole health in a hit and just kind of shrug it off, because shield, right? The shield ate it all and didn't even get scratched. Whereas someone like Briv can only take his whole health in a hit, and he falls over. If he takes 99.99% of his health in a hit, he can then heal back up again, potentially. But yeah, Ayla and Tyral have these self shields that just make them broken in the way the game currently. So at the high end, Ayla and Tyral. Ayla's resets every 30 seconds. Tyral's every time you use his ultimate, which if you max out his ultimate cooldown means every 60 seconds. Although I think Tyral's is broken on WebGL currently. When you push, do you use potions or just go till you can't go any further? It depends on what account I'm on. We got a Nan right in the middle of the screen. Nice. If I'm on my new player account, the Gaarawarr account, I don't use potions often. I tend to hold on to those for trying to complete variants. Like anything I just need to get a little further and the potions will get me there. I use them there. But when I'm on when I'm on this account, if I'm trying to push real far, like for an Azaka farm, anywhere in a regular campaign or an event, then I will throw on, at the start of the run, I'll throw on one of each epic potion. And then when I hit what I know my wall is, and I've got my pushing party in, then I will start dropping like the hour-long potions. And then when I get to the wall of that hour-long potions get me to, I'll stack more hour-long potions with the 15-minute potions, for an hour duration, like 4 of each of those. And then I just keep doing that until I just run out of steam. And then I Azaka farm. Nova, Korth, or Binwin? Ooh. Nova. You're relatively new. Yeah, Nova. Because you're also going to get, if you don't have any other Heroes of Eros, you'll have Lucius to go with Nova next week. Which could be a fun combination. So with all that, Ayla's best. I kind of, part of me is leaning to Ayla's better than Tyral, but Tyral's, this is a problem. I end up in a 2-tank formation. I'll stack them side by side and push real far, and I'm not sure which one dies first. I mean, in a general situation, it just depends on which one the boss ends up attacking. So it's very difficult to know which one is better, because there's always going to be one the boss is attacking and one the boss isn't. Because just all like 100 trash mobs can stack up on either one of them, and they're both fine. It's only the boss that kills them usually. So I don't know. At that point, I don't know that it matters. On formations with multiple tanks in the front row, do enemies go for the top slot? No, it's random. They will distribute randomly. From my experience, they distribute randomly. I've never paid that close attention to it, but it seems like whenever stuff stacks out, why are we not? Are we just not? We don't have enough damage. What is going on? Why is Lucille not dying? I guess we just don't have enough damage. All right. I'm trying to look at who I would need to swap here. Deacon's got to come out. We will tag in Groom. Start filling that beer mug up. And Lucille will fall over. Stokey swap? Why would I Stokey swap? Stokey's stuff doesn't stick around when she leaves. That's super old. Like that's like a year or two ago. What point do you stop using Nyellion Sentry for Tyral? I mean, I don't use Sentry on my new player account as a tank because she doesn't have the gear for it. Really. So Nyellion and Tyral are both going to have better gear. When you have a single tank situation and you've got a good swap for Nyellion that's got gear. So like when you get Gromma with some gear, you start using Tyral in the single take situation because Gromma can then come in and support Tyral. Otherwise, you're using Nyellion as your tank in Devotion spec, and you've got Tyral and Moonbeam. So yeah, so when you get a good swap for Nyellion, or at least for that, for that last swap, like for, if you've got somebody else, you could just, not even use Nyellion. But I think it like Gromma tends to be where you start doing that. It could be Spurt or it could be Omen. It's just going to be a well-geared support champion in that slot. Could potentially do it, or in one of your other non-use slots. We're still not killing Lucille. What's going on, Lucille? Why are you not dying? Man, this is weird. All right, that's fine. Just back up and kill corrupted ghouls over and over and over again. It's not a crawl loop. There's no such thing as a crawl loop. Like by crawl, I say crawl loop question mark because by crawl loop I think you mean like crawl leftovers, but a boss is never a crawl leftover. So this has to be a Korth or Narak from a time gate. Ooh, if you're newer, Narak. Because Narak will work without gear. Korth's okay, but not going to be a great swap against Celeste without gear. Sasaspia, I think, is a niche champion. You can pick her up later and fine in certain situations, but she's not going to outshine Brunar early on. So probably Narak with no gear. It's a fine time to lead me. Well, it's a fine time to fear me is my version of that. Because she has that fear effect. It's just she wasn't getting close enough to kill anybody, so it's, there's no real fear going on. Now, the issue I have here with this tank setup is, this is not necessarily great for Zorbu farming because all the enemies are spread out. So if I want a Zorbu farm, and then they're going to die off. So if I want a Zorbu farm here, I'm going to go all the way back and I'm just going to let everybody see how this works. What I want then is I want just one tank in the front and I don't care about anybody else. Is Ayla not, our shield not working? She's not taking any damage. So is this a visual bug? Oh, they're just not doing enough damage to her for it to matter. And we're getting tons of heals off Dinar. That's what's going on. All right. We don't care about Dinar. We just want to keep the tank alive. Just in case she does take some damage. And all we really care about is making sure we have enough damage to kill the ghouls. So yeah, the rest can stay in there. She's not going to take a lot of damage, but her shield is not going off, which troubles me. Let me restart. Oh, hey, did I get an achievement? Shielding Fury. See, 50 times Tyral's max health as a shield from his shielding bite. This is why Tyral is broken. He can have 50 times his health as a shield. Technically, it can be more than that. But yeah. So when you can hit someone for their full health 51 times before they die, like if you could hit them that quickly, that just seems problematic. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Can I push a little further here? Oh, we're leveling. Anything? We'll see. What did I get to? 27% increase. Yeah, hopefully I can get that up a little further. Let me restart the game here. Night Sky. If it's a boss who's left over and his ads all die, you can try resetting the attempt and hope the boss blows up before the minions. Right, but that doesn't work when it's an armored boss. That normally the Krull ult will take it out. Yeah. I don't know what was going on. Oh, I know the problem. Why Ayla wasn't shielding. It's because we're on... Yes, look for a game. There it is. It's because we're on level 1 and she's not even really getting to attack. Like, they're not really getting to attack her. She needs to be hit. Where is it? Shielding Storm. When an electrified enemy attacks Ayla, she gains temp HP. Yeah, none of them are getting close to her. So, all right, let's try it. Well, let's try it here. Yeah, there we go. Silly me. See, look at those shields. We're just going to leave it right here so you can see the power of Ayla's shields. I mean, she started off at basically two. Oh, dang, she died. Never mind. This is what happens when you only have one tank, folks. Not supporting Ayla well right now. Oh yeah, this is why. Here we go. Let's give her resilient, and let's give her her calm under pressure. And let's see if that helps a little bit. But yeah, she starts off at 2 EO5 health, and maybe we do want Dinar. Yeah. Maybe we do. One of the problems here is I went from 10 people in this party to only 8. So I've got to find the point where all of these can build up, but Zorbu can still kill them. And right now, this is not it. So we're going to have to back up a little bit. Using Grom as an example, would you say is good gear, like you were saying? Oh, just all blues. I would say a newer player, all blues. If you have all blues, that's good gear. Great gear would be all purples, right? And excellent gear is, like shinies or goldens. But yeah, if you've got all blues, you've got good gear. But when you first grab a champion out of a time gate, you're not going to get good gear. You're going to probably have some greens and some blues, maybe a purple if you got super lucky. Out of 3 chests, that would be super lucky. But you have greens, purples, maybe a white, or maybe just not an item at all in a slot. That's what you got to worry about. Maybe we got to go back even further here. Are we killing anything at all? No, we're not. We can swap out Beetle and Grim. We don't want to worry about debuffs. We just want straight damages. Get in there and do it. Probably don't want Crawl here either, now that I think about it. I probably want Tyral and Moonbeam in the back. Because I don't want to have to wait for the ramp up for Crawl's plagues to kill these ghouls off. I just want to kill things in one shot. Which means we probably want to get rid of Freely as well. I know we're dying, but that's fine. We're changing our whole DPS dynamic here, so I got to go back to a place where you don't have to farm at your highest level if you're just farming kills. You just want to figure out what you can kill. And right now, well, we're into the 150s in health, and this is 173, so we're getting close. Oh, nope, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Oh, come on. Let's go back to 520. Let me look at, if we go over here, like if you see, I've got good gear. Like I've got pretty great gear on Celeste, right? Because she's got mostly purples. Good gear here, good gear here. This is kind of okay, but not super great. Like it's just kind of okay. Good, right? Like these were champions. But if we look at like who did I get out of a time gate, you'll be able to tell real quickly once I hit one. Like, okay, so greens and then no item at all. Time gate, right? What else did I get out of a time gate? Narak. I ended up with a white somehow and a purple somehow. I don't know. That's just, it was weird. Morgaine missing a slot. Greens with a blue and got a purple. Crazy. All blues so far in Alcoria. She's just a newer acquire. Yeah. So like, if you end up in that situation where maybe they don't have an item at all, or there's some greens, they're in okay gear. But they're not necessarily going to be able to compete with like a Celeste that you've opened a lot of gold chests for and has good gear for, right? You can always try them out. You can always try them out and see how it works. That's how you find out what works and not in this game. Last question, because we're running out of time. Time gates, Gromma, Avron, Black Viper. Avron. Oh, Avron has 4 epics. Avron. Again, it's that if you're in gotta collect them all mode, then go ahead and grab Black Viper. But if you're not, put more gear on Avron maybe. Actually, if Gromma doesn't have full epics, if Gromma doesn't have like full blues, get Gromma some gear. Otherwise, try to get those last 2 epics on Avron. Yeah, Make an educated decision. Okay, these are 150s. We're doing like 156 damage. Why are we not killing everything in like one hit, though? I feel like we should be. What's going on? Yeah. No. They should all be stacked up on her. Everything should die in one shot from Zorbu, and it's just not. So, hold on. We may be a little... I want to find this spot for everybody. As you can see. Oh, that's better. That's better. That'll work, probably. All right, so we're close. So I had to come a ways back, but that's how you do it. And then I'll let this sit, and it'll farm corrupted ghouls forever and ever and ever. I will run my Azaka farm. I'll go start that right now after this show. I'm running in my second party. And we'll push super deep, and we'll do Azaka, Gaarawarr's Guide to Azaka tomorrow. That is, I will never remember the time on the top of my head. 9 a.m. Pacific. That's why I never remember it, because it's so early. Join me at 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow for Gaarawarr's Guide to Azaka, where we'll do lots of questions about Azaka and Azaka farming, and then any other questions after that. Yep. So I will see you then. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a safe weekend. Thank you, Sasha, for moderating and grabbing questions. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.